So selecting content type. So I suggest when you get started, just stick with a really simple layout. And I'm going to get into some examples of simple layouts, because it's better to have a really small layout that's done well than a really crappy one that's, got 5 different sections in it that are irrelevant. So what you'll do when you get started is, I generally plan mine out. I actually planned it out on a bit of paper, old school, because I need to look at the type of images that I've got for that product, because a lot of people don't have, you've all got your square images, but a lot of these templates require landscape shots. And you want to reuse, you can reuse some of the photos, but you kind of need extra content as well. So if you've got your, 7 or however many Amazon photos, I would suggest doing a photo shoot, getting some more landscape shots, or at least getting somebody, a graphic designer, to do up some extra ones using your existing photos, but putting them in different settings, for example, a good graphic designer. So there's 17 modules to choose from. And as I said, you want to think about your format. When you're creating your first layout, you just create it, and you can delete it, and you can add and remove down the track. So you don't need to be too precious about it all. But these are all the layouts that you get to choose from. Some of them would not make any sense for a lot of products, like this one, for example, unless, of course, I mean, for a dog product it does. But just think about, if you're going to put this module in, what are you going to put in there? And does that help the customer, or does it actually confuse them? That's something to think about as well. So just moving on. So I'm going to show you some good examples and why they're good. And then I'm going to show you some shitty ones and why I believe that they're just not really adding any value. So and what I'm going to show you at the very end is, I'm just going to go over, you're all probably going, I've got a logo, but I've got no idea what I would do on here as far as colors and fonts, and you might not be thinking that, but I would be. So you don't want it to look like a dog's breakfast, where you've got 17 different fonts and none of it looks good together, and the images all, like, you've got stock images with different lighting thrown in with other stock images that they just don't match. So at the very end of this, I'm going through a really quick 5-minute overview of a one-page brand guide that you can put together, just so you know what look and feel you want, and what brand attributes, I guess, you want to get across in this. So, and that'll come back and make a bit more sense when I talk through this. So this is good. It's got a well-sized logo at the top. You have to have a logo. That's one of the requirements of A+ content, is you need your logo at the top. You need to make sure it's nice and sharp and clear, not a really low resolution one. When you're in there creating the content, every module that you slot in, like this is a module, this is a module, this is a module, they will put specifications in there of recommended image sizes. So you don't need to worry too much about that. And yeah, and you'll upload them in the highest resolution you have, and they will resize appropriately. So, you don't want to put up like a 20 megabyte file, but you want to make sure it's a decent, nice and sharp image. This one's really good because it's got a clearly defined brand proposition, which just means at a glance, well, first of all, I can see what the product is and I know I'm in the right place. I've just scrolled down and this is talking about this product, not some other random product that's popped up. And natural insect bite, pain and itch relief. So a really defined brand proposition does a couple of things. So it identifies the product's point of difference compared to all the others, compared to all the toxic bite balms out there that are not natural. So natural is the position, the product's point of difference. The insect bite pain and itch is the customer's pain point. I've got an insect bite and it's painful and it's itchy. And then relief is solving the problem. That probably seems, I've just spelled solving wrong. That probably seems pretty straightforward, but this is kind of your elevator pitch. So if you can summarize succinctly in that amount of words or even a couple more, first of all, why your product's different to everybody else's, what pain point you're solving and how you're solving it, then that's a really powerful statement to develop. And something like, unique, is not enough of a point of difference. So just thinking, you know, all those sort of standard. Natural is because it's for topical products, that's a really valuable attribute. So with this one, the banner is professionally designed, and they've used a wood texture, and that aligns with their brand, obviously wood being natural. And with your brand, you might have, you know, I've seen a lot of A+ content where they've used like a slate background or a marble looking, really faint marble background, and that just says premium. So if it's a, you know, kitchen product, or there's a couple of examples in here where they've used different textures, and that really subliminally helps get the value of the product across. Product name is big and bold at the top, reiterating that sort of reiterating product that they're looking for. The headings under the images are really clear and concise, not like how I'm talking right now. Summarizing the features and benefits. So the features are one thing, the benefits are, you know, what's in it for me. So the features are, I don't know, 0.5 ounce tube. You know, so the benefit is this one's safe and effective for me. This is a natural one for me. The original painkiller is more of a statement, so that's fine. But think about whether you're just talking about 8 ounce mug or large mug to fit your big coffee, for example. Stupid example, but you get the drift. It's what's benefiting the customer versus just purely facts. And then it's a nice mix of product shots. So it's not just all white background, product shot. It's the product shot. And then we've got someone here that's really happy out in nature with their dog. And that's just a close-up of the ingredients. So looking how they work together, and at least having a couple with backgrounds that are not white. So nice mix of lifestyle and textures, I think I was saying there. This one's good as well in a different kind of way. You can tell the feel of it already. It already says it's very different to the other one. There's nothing natural about this. Nice, simple, clean lines on the logo. Bit of intro text, which is probably a bit of waste of real estate, to be honest, for that one. But you can get across. So they've got this like this wallpaper texture on there, which is obviously part of their brand, and it ties in all the way through. You can see they've used a lot of icons as well. So if you've got some key features, whatever they are, then they can you can get points across really quickly by using icons. And I do recommend, if you're going to do this, if you're not creative or you're not sure if you're creative, then I would get somebody else to do it. And I've got a list of websites that offer that service at the end. And then of course there's Fiverr and Upwork, but go to them with a really solid brief. Otherwise you're still going to get, you know, crap. So yeah, I mean, this is not amazing, but it does sort of show the quality. It's also a funeral product, so it's kind of a somber looking listing, which is, you know, what you want to get across. You don't want fluoro colors or anything crazy like that. And this one is again, I don't really like the text at the top. A little bit is okay. What I liked about this though is it's really like, this is a man's product, and you can tell by black and red are traditionally masculine colors. And again, they've just got, at a glance, it's got major shock reduction. All the benefits to the customer are spelled out really succinctly at the top. And yeah, this is okay. I mean, it promotes blood circulation to the legs. It's not overly well done, but I don't want you just copying. It's not a good idea just to copy and paste your bullet points. The A+ content is very good. It's more of a conversation with them, like a website would be. Instead of our listing, we write and we really keyword stuff. Well, we don't keyword stuff it, but we write it with keywords in mind, and we don't write it with a lot of necessarily the tone of what we would normally if we were writing on a website. But this is the place to do it, because we're not able to, these keywords in here don't mean anything, unfortunately, as far as we're aware anyway. So just write it, you know, if it's a novelty product, write it with a light-hearted tone instead of, you know, the sort of really like black and white tone that we generally do on bullet points. Now this is not, it's not majorly bad, but it's just not really utilizing the space as best as they could. The banner's actually fine. It's straight away pointed out there. They've got a really good brand proposition. So identifying the man's pain point, which is, geez, I spend a lot of time grooming, and saying that this will result in less time grooming, and then backing it up with saying, and the ladies will love you, more compliments. So the head is actually really good, but then you just go into this, who wants to read that? They come down to A+ content to just get away from all the text. And so I would suggest, you know, no more than sort of that amount of text per module, or at least that amount of text per module. They've got all this. And where possible, put the key features and the key information in the images or in big text that's easy on the eye. This is another one that at a glance looks okay, but I just don't know what, like I'm confused because there's not many like references to the product. There's all this text that I don't really want to read. Yeah, it's just not a very compelling listing. And the photos look like, that's what I mean about this, looks like a stock photo, whereas this doesn't. And if someone just didn't applied like a filter to them all so they look like they're part of the same family, then that would look better. And this is really ugly. So this is what you're doing if you don't know what you're doing. And that will just turn people away. So yeah. So with images, when you're uploading your images into here, then you can just put in here, you have the option to put in alt text and tags. So alt text is just a simple sentence. This is good for Google. Google, being found on Google, doesn't do anything for Amazon as far as we're aware. But don't keyword stuff it. Just dog mug on counter in kitchen or something like that. Just exactly like that. Tags are not relating to anything for search except your own search. So if you want to just name them so that you can find the images later. Okay, really quickly, content planning. These are issues that, so you submit your content and then you get rejected. And the main reasons are there's no logo, or it's a really crappy quality logo or crappy quality images, duplicate images, or images look like Amazon logos. What company information in the image, of course, Amazon don't want to send people anywhere else. Bold claims, like they hate the generic claims like satisfaction guaranteed, our product is the best, money back, Bates, that sort of thing. Links to other pages on, even within Amazon or outside of Amazon, obviously offensive content. Customer reviews in images. I had a recent one that was rejected because I had a testimonial in an image and they didn't like it. So, oh yeah, it's so yeah, just they're basically like, well, the reviews are up the top, the customers know where they are, don't repeat them. These are some sites, and like I said, I'll give this to you, that offer services, enhanced brand content services, or create A+ content for you. They're very dramatically in price. It really depends on what you want and how much photoshopping is required, but they can't create miracles. So you really do have to have good images, and just rehashing you'll need to get at least a few images that are not in your listing, even unless you can dramatically Photoshop them. So they're not miracle workers. They're just there to lay it out in the best way possible. But there's heaps on Fiverr and Upwork. So just go through and look at their reviews as well, and ask them if they've got a brief template that they use, because, and if not, just start doing it in Word and go, okay, I want that to be there and that to be there, because otherwise whatever you brief in is usually, you know, what you get in, what you put in is what you get out. The last thing is, so with A+ content, you create your templates first and then you apply your ASINS. And then so you might create, you know, you've got 5 yoga mats, you create your yoga mat template and then you apply your ASINS. You can do it at a parent level or a child level. So if you've got 2 children that are slightly different and you want a different one, you do it at the child level. But if all the children are exactly, you know, you're happy to have exactly the same content, then you just do it at a parent level and they feed through.